else I needed to say. Hopefully it comes back to me. Hi, everybody. I'm Malika Albrecht, founding editor of Redheaded Stepchild, and tonight we are going to be celebrating Dale Austin. This is his very first book. We are really excited that you're here, Dale. I'm going to read a little bit about your bio.
Thank you.
Cushing Publishing will release Putting Salt on a Bird's Tail, Words of Wisdom. That he is Dale is a Smithfield resident, and this book will come out. It's already out, right? June
That's
30th
right.
was your, yes. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yay.
That's fabulous. The collection presents a series of brief reflective poems that are rooted in nature, imagery, and everyday observation. We do like people that are awake at the wheel and noticing the world around us. And the cover is gorgeous. Thanks for saying that, Cindy, because I think that's something that we forget sometimes, how a cover can really amplify the contents of a book. Rose, the publisher, describes the work as designed for slow reading and repeated reflection. Austin is a first-time author whose poetry draws on years of quiet reflection. He's also the nephew of Sam Ragan, who is beloved amongst us North Carolina poets. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Dale. I can spotlight it, or I can keep us kind of comfortable this way. Do you have a preference?
I'm comfortable either way. I'm
Okay,
fine either way. Yeah.
perfect.
Here's
Well,
the cover of the
welcome.
book.
It's
Oh,
Hey,
gorgeous.
nice.
and I want to say I'm really honored to be here, and this is a big deal. And writing my first book, when I start writing, it was like I'm just sitting around writing poems, and then one day people, family, and friends keep encouraging me, put it in a book, and then I was fortunate enough to find Rose Cushing with Cushing Publishing, and she helped me go through all the steps and put it together. But then, when I got my book, I thought, this is great. I've got a book now, so I can give all my friends and family. But it don't stop there. It begins there, and that's when I really got more and more excited after I got that book in my hand and felt the book. It became real. And I'm sure all of you have felt the same way. Uh, the main thing is some of you may have written 2, 4, 20 books. I don't know, but I can say that your first is your first baby. Yeah. But let me do this. Let me read a few things, and I hope you like it. And um, it's about a little bit about when I was growing up, people I met, the things in my life, simpler times. And it started out with my first poem was on page 9, and it's called Another Time. I reminded of another time and another place. It was different time. It was the different days. We sit on the front porch together. We'd actually talk to one another. We would ask for a cup of sugar to borrow, then pay it back tomorrow. We could go outside after dark, spend family time at the park. Outdoors, our doors were unlocked with no fear. We welcome our neighbors over here. Whatever you had, you'd share. Your neighbor's burden would bear. It's not like that anymore. All days we lock our doors. We don't know who our neighbors are. We don't even recognize anyone's cars. Everyone lives in fear. You feel no one cares. We long for the good old days. We long for the old ways. I know one thing for a fact, things will never go back. We'll continue to hope just in case for another time, another place. And then um, I wrote about my family. I love my family, my sisters, brothers, and me. God knew who I first needed to know. They were the first to help me grow. They taught me how to play, how to live day to day. Honest feelings, not fickle, from pedal cars to bicycles. I learned how to share and also how to care. I learned how to stand for what's right. I learned how to fight, how to respect others, especially my sisters and brothers, how to comfort when they cry, how to apologize. We tried to always keep it real, and that's kind of a big deal. part of who I am today. It is because they helped show me the way. I write down the words. I write the words as my poem on page 11. I write down the words. It may seem a little absurd, but I make it up as I go. I write next. I don't know. Sometimes it's just a word in my head. Sometimes I think of it lying in bed. It may be inspired by you, could be something you do. It could be a season of time. I don't know how it all entwines. Maybe when someone is leaving, there's no rhyme or reason. It may be something silly or sad. It may come from the best time I've ever had. It may be from where I've been or just something I've seen. Whatever inspires you, you should write it down too. I wrote one about a better man. I try to be the best I can. I try to be a better man. I have a new light in my soul. Bad thoughts in my mind I now can control. The old man has died. A new man now lives inside. I've washed away my sinful ways. The devil tries to block my path. In the end, he will face his wrath. Now I'm enjoying happy and joyful days. I don't see things the way I once did. The darkness has been deeply hid. I'm no longer a hater or a taker. My goal is just to please my maker. One day before him, I will stand and say, I really tried to be a better man. At grandma's, down a long dirt path, you drive slow. You can't go fast. A porch swing swaying in the breeze, parked near the door by the old oak tree. Lots of shade all around. Uncle Steve's gone to town, driving his old Pontiac. He'll soon be back. We go inside through the slamming door. Grandma standing up on a scuffed up linoleum floor, standing there in her black laced up shoes and her apron covering her clothes. She's got her bread bowl out making biscuits. Uncle Steve gets back. She'll fry up some fatback, dry pintos cooking on the stove, seasoned just the way we love. Fresh sliced tomatoes, a pot of stewed okra. Out of the kitchen, it's grandma's bed, packed with feathers from foot to head. We all jump in and snuggle in, rain falling gently on the roof of tin. Papa by the radio in his rocking chair, right next to where Grandma combs her hair. Grandma gives us all a half stick of gum. She makes sure we all get some. Mama gathers us up for the ride in the car. Everyone is sleepy, glad the ride's not too far. Write a book. Probably all of you could probably come to this conclusion is write a book. I thought I would write a book so everyone could get it and take a look. I pondered day and night to think of what to write. I thought I could take a chance and write about romance. I could write a line or two. I really didn't have a clue. I set out to put down on paper the words about a serious caper. I can't wait to get my start. I need to write from the heart. I hope to find the words that rhyme, writing short stories or a poem. I know writing is what I'm doing. I hope you'll all understand. I'm just writing the best I can. And my daddy had an old Packard, and we used to get up in the back of the old Packard in the window in the back dash. We called it in the back window of Daddy's Packard. There's plenty of room near the back glass, looking out as the stars go past. Rain starts falling on the window pane, rolling off the side of the car into the storm drains. Don't take long, you're fast asleep, lying there in the back window dash. No five-star hotel can get you better sleep. Sleeping there, sadly, not a single peep. Daddy's Packard drives smoother than a Cadillac, especially in the dash window in the back. We all take turns riding there. We'll ride with Daddy anywhere. Think you can. I can't, says I, but did I give it a try? If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You can climb to the highest heights or sink to the lowest of lows. You can push to see how far it goes or stay back and take it slow. You can't jump into the abyss or just do anything you wish. You have to make a plan. But first, you must think you can. If you think you can, that's where you begin. We still on? Hello?
You're good. You're doing great.
Okay. Stillness of twilight. There's a loud while silence is bound. As I close my eyes and look around, I see the air in an empty space, standing here, leaving nary a trace. I dance all around in a motionless town, screaming out loud, trying to be found. Leaving here and going nowhere, going around as I climb the stairs, looking at you while holding you at bay. You're looking back and walking away. The roses show their brilliance and continue to bloom as springtime turns the pages of the calendar soon. Then comes the heat of the year, leaving us all in a sweltering cheer. Leaves falling and chance loses its crown, laying softly on the cold autumn ground. The winter arrives, not yet blanketing the ground, leaving hopes and dreams far behind, wishing that our youth had been more kind. Turning over the hourglass and watching the sand fall, this will happen to everyone. It'll happen to us all. But we wait patiently in the stillness of twilight, drifting off slowly, knowing it's going to be all right. This is a short story I wrote. It's called For a Song. I lived in an apartment at the edge of town. I've been looking for a nice, modest home that I can afford. But in today's market, that's nearly impossible. I know it'll come along sometime. Just don't give up. I was running late for a meeting and was in a hurry. Traffic was atrocious, and I was really getting impatient. I decided to take an old country road, hoping to get around all the traffic. I passed by a charming old country home set up on a hill. The sign in the front yard said, "For sale by owner." I was already late for my meeting, so I went speeding past the old home. My meeting lasted longer than expected, so I decided to get a room for the night. The next morning, I went down and got some coffee and a bowl of cereal from the Continental Breakfast Bar. I couldn't get that charming old country home out of my mind. I decided to go back down that old country road instead of taking the highway. I drove up to the house, not sure if anyone would be there. I pulled right up to the detached garage and got out. Right away, I knew it was going to be more than I could afford. I walked toward the front steps. I heard someone picking a guitar and humming a tune. It was a sweet sound of a song my grandma used to sing. She was always singing. As a matter of fact, she taught me how to play the guitar. I said, "Howdy, sir. I saw your sign out front and I thought I'd come check it out." He looked at me and said, "Yep, it's for sale for a song." I laughed and said, "That sounds good to me." "That song you were playing is so familiar to me. Do you mind if I pick her out?" "Nope, not a bit. Go ahead." He handed me his guitar and I started playing the same song. I sang it just the way my grandma taught me. The old gentleman jumped in and sang along with me. We were harmonizing pretty good. I picked out a few more tunes and enjoyed just the singing these old tunes. Oh, I really enjoyed our time on the porch. He did too, as a matter of fact. I saw a little tear in the corner of his eye as I handed him his guitar back. He looked at me and he said, "Come on, young fella, I'll show you around." We walked through every room in the house. He had a story about every room. Each story was about him and his Bonnie, the love of his life. He told me how he lost his Bonnie a few years ago, and he said, "I just can't live here anymore without her. The memories hurt too bad." He looked at me and said, "What do you think, fella? Do you like her?" "Of course I do, but I'm not sure I can afford it." He walked over to the drawer in the kitchen and pulled out some papers. He signed his name on the paper and said, "Here you go, young fella. Now go and make some memories here. I I I don't have the money and I don't know how much it is." "I told you it was for sale for a song, and I thank you for singing with me and bringing back those sweet memories of me and my Bonnie. You can have it for a song." The title of my book is Salt on the Bird's Tail. And it is an old wives' tale that mamas and grandmas tell people. And here's one I wrote was Salt on the Bird's Tail. Moms get tired and need their rest. In my opinion, I had the best. We were never caught lying. There's no need trying. Sometimes life would throw her a curve and we would get on her last nerve. Some days things landed in her lap and she would need to lie down and take a nap. Mama sent us out to play and said for us to stay out all day. Sometimes we'd climb tall trees, sometimes we'd fall down and skin our knees. We'd close our eyes and take a peek. We'd run around for hide and seek. We didn't go in and say we were bored. Mama would find us some chores. We played Red Rover and all run over. We wrestled in the fields of clover. Hopscotch was played. It's a girls' game, so therefore I will not name names. Oh, we played basketball and baseball too. When it was cold, we stayed out till we turned blue. There's one thing Mama told us, we could catch a bird if we sprinkled salt on its tail. We tried so hard, no matter how quiet we were, every time we'd fail. Now I'll tell you, and without any lies, after many, many, many tries, now I'm older, faster, and much more wise. No matter what you think, don't be absurd. You can't sprinkle salt on the tail and catch a bird. Here's another short story I wrote, and um, it's called Johnny Cakes. There's a park next to my house. I live alone, so to have no contact with the rest of the world, I go there almost every day. I sit on the park bench and just watch the families come and play. One day, there was a young lady with a little boy at the park. He had fiery red hair, hazel eyes, and a freckled face. His clothes were a bit tattered and torn. She wasn't paying too much attention to him at all. She was spending her time talking to a young man nearby. The little boy was getting a little bored and came over to me, and I spoke to him, and he took to me right away. He didn't talk too much, but you could tell he wanted some attention. He had a smile big as Texas. His mother soon came over and shouted at him, at the little boy, "Come on, let's go." He kept sitting there. She said, "Johnny, if you don't come on right now, I'm going to leave you." And I thought this must be a little game he was playing with her. Then she hastily went to her car and drove away. I figured she was going to teach him a good lesson and hide and go around the corner and then come right back and pick him up. I stayed with him to make sure he was all right. We sat there for what seemed like hours. I knew he must have been scared, but he was brave. To my surprise, she didn't return, and it was getting late. I was thinking he must be hungry. I probably should call the authorities, but common sense didn't take hold. He must have felt safe with me. He stayed right by my side. We went home and I fixed him something to eat. Boy, pardon me, he tore into a plate of mac and cheese. I didn't have a lot of kid food around the house. Besides, it was just me. We got up the next morning and went right back to the park. She had to be going out of her mind, worrying about her little boy. She never came. Day after day, we kept going back to the park, waiting all day. She never came. During this whole time, he didn't speak very much, just gestures. One day I was preparing breakfast and he asked me what was I cooking. I told him I was making Johnny cakes. He lit up and spoke, "Like me, I'm Johnny Cakes." We laughed and said, "Yes, you're Johnny Cakes." I guess that name just stuck with him. I kept calling him Johnny Cakes. Of course, every time I did, we'd both just laugh and laugh. A year went by and his mother never returned. He became my shadow. Everywhere I went, there he was too. I guess he had separation issues. We became buddies, I guess you could say. Johnny Cakes was with me for about 18 months. And when one afternoon, out of the blue, a sheriff car pulled up. The deputy stepped out. He had his shirt tail out and his lipstick on his cheek. Then the kid's mother got out of the passenger side. She shouted, "Where's my boy?" I exclaimed, "I didn't think you cared about him." The deputy demanded he needs to go with his mother. I had no choice. By this time, my heart was breaking. If I tried to talk, I'd cry. They picked up little Johnny Cakes and put him in the car. I saw only arms and legs while screaming. He was fighting like the third monkey on the ramp at the ark while it was starting to rain. My heart couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want him to see me cry. I waved goodbye, told him I loved him, and turned and walked away. That was the last time I heard from little Johnny Cakes. The years went by. I never went back to the park. I just prayed he would be okay. I wondered if he still thinks about me. That kid was some kind of special. One day I was watching the big rock tournament as they were announcing the winner. It was a 697 pounder. The captain was a red-headed, hazel-eyed young man named Johnny. They announced the name of the boat, Johnny Cakes. That's when I knew it was him. Johnny Cakes made a difference in my life. Looking back, I think God knew I needed Johnny Cakes in my life, probably more than he needed me. At Mama's house is a poem I wrote. Driving home to Mama's, we'll catch her in her pajamas. It'll be good to see my brothers and sisters. Brothers shake hands and sisters want to kiss you. House is full of laughter. The kitchen's where we all gather. Love here is what it's all about. At Mama's, there's no doubt. Catching up with everyone before the meal is done. We are talking about our aches and pains, telling about the weight we've gained. Food is all on the table. We will sit together if we're able, letting the food fill our mouths the way we do here in this house. Food, family, and fun. Enough of that for everyone. And one thing sent from above, this family is filled with lots of love. I have a brother that lives in South Carolina, and he has a little pond behind his house, and we sit sometimes and watch the ducks, and he actually has fish that are jumping out of the water. So one day I was sitting out back and thought about this and wrote it's called Beth and Jim's, their names. Ducks on the pond with jumping fish, meat on the Kamado Joe grilling up a tasty dish. Saucing up the meat or brothers three, just making sure there's enough for me. Ladies going upstairs, laying out the dinnerware. Boys in the elevator bringing up the meat. With all the fixings, we're in for a delicious treat. Together, we're all spending time. Nothing better blesses this heart of mine. It's all an unsaid word. What's happening here is something good. Alexa playing our favorite tunes, stars all around a harvest moon. Osprey sitting out on a limb just one evening at Beth and Jim's. A poet loves. Poets gather their words like a cowboy corrals his herd. Poets write about people they know, places they've been, and where they may go. They write about things they've heard. Poets carefully consider every word. When a poet starts to write, he looks within for insight. He has his senses keen. A poet is someone who dreams. With his heart on fire, a poet is inspired. Poets write about flowers and trees. Poets may write about you and me. Words come to a poet. When it's right, he will know it. Poems undeniably prove a poet is someone who loves. Country folks. In the country is where we grew. It's where we learned and what we knew. Most folks don't understand our slang or get into the songs we sing. We understand each other just fine, every spoken word, every line, looking out for one another, every sister and brother. We know how each one cares. We're all willing to take it on a dare. You can know we'll catch you if we fall. We'll tell the truth and stand it tall. We go to church and praise the Lord. We believe the Bible, every word. We ride down the road feeling kind of proud, even though our trucks may sound too loud. We go to the baseball games and eat hot dogs. In the evening, we sit around the campfire burning up logs. We don't grill on the barbecue, but we'll cook out with you. We eat grits, gravy, and chicken fried. We cried when old Yellow died. We don't cuss. but we might say, dang, we'll meet you at the door before the doorbell rings. The day after payday, we might be broke. We help neighbors. We're country folks. Here's one about a pirate, about the pirate. Beans and corn and some apple pie, carrying rum from Jamaica and a keg of rye. Facing the sunrise that'll make you cry, the waves splash over the bow. He managed to stay dry somehow. He walks across the mighty deck, dragging along his wooden peg, staying steady on this course, destined for a western shore. His goal of the day is searching for easy prey. He has his own agenda and makes his rules as he attacks other ships and steals their jewels. Satisfied with the loot of the day, this is the life of the pirate's way. His foes chase him on the high seas. With wind in his sails, he flees. This is the life he lives, taking whatever life gives. He's married to the sea. For a pirate, that's just how it be. Arr. The world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy, except for you and me. They're all on meds and a bit dizzy in the head. You look into the eyes, they look a little dense. Everything they do and say just doesn't make sense. They look as though they're in a haze. I think they're all loco. It's just not a phase. They'll say, don't call, just send a text. I wonder what's coming next. They all have gone a little bit mad. They've lost every bit of sense they ever had. No one ever talks anymore, not like they did before. I wonder who's to blame. I will not play their silly game. We can't crawl into a hole and live like a mole. We can fly away and go to the moon because everyone here is crazy as a loon. We'll leave them all behind to see what we can find. This world's gone crazy except for you and me. I know I'm all right. I know what to do, but sometimes I have my doubts even question you. uh, Dandelion wishes. I was told, I think every kid was too, that you make a wish and blow a dandelion, your wishes will come true. I have wished and blown little fuzzy stuff all over the place. I'm probably responsible for many dandelion plants. When I was a kid, I wished for candy, toys, a new bicycle, and many other things. Some of them came true. I sometimes wish for candy and I'd get a quarter and buy some candy and then I'd pick another dandelion and wish for a toy. Somehow I believe that wish came true also. A wish is not something you take lightly. You have to really believe when you blow on a dandelion that the fuzzies float in the air and carry your wish to the right place. My father-in-law told me this same story about the dandelion when I was older. I think he believed on making dandelion wishes too. He had many dandelions in his yard, so I knew he had to have believed. I know a wish doesn't take the place of a prayer, but wishes are magic. I think sometimes our prayers start out a wish and then somehow God hears our wishes as prayers. As time goes by, I had my own lawn and I quit blowing on dandelions. I think it was I was fighting a losing battle. Even lawn care companies tend to struggle with dandelions. In November of 2006, we lost our father-in-law, and it broke my heart because I had developed quite a relationship with him. He seemed like a father to me. When his funeral was over, a few days later, we went to his gravesite. It was a cold November. The grass was brown and no flowers anywhere. Right in the middle of the grave was a bright yellow flower. Yes, a dandelion. We thought that if in the fuzzy stage, we could make a wish. We'd wish he knew that we wish we knew if he was doing okay. We had no doubt that's where he was because we knew where he was. He was in heaven, but we just wanted to be able to tell him we love him one more time. The wind started blowing, and suddenly there was a cloud of dandelion fuzzies all around us. We knew this was his way of letting us know that he knew how we felt. So whether it's spring, summer, or fall, you may see some fuzzies floating around you. That's how you'll know someone in heaven loves you and is watching over you. Keep on making dandelion wishes.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait. Just a minute.
Thank you so much, Dale. I think Cal's was unmuted, so I'm sorry if you caught that. I just wanted to say something about dandelion fuzzies. I
Yeah.
love that you called them dandelion fuzzies. That really stuck with me. If you're good with this, we'll move into question and answers now, because I know people probably have some questions. And Dale,
Sure.
I know on the phone you can't see all the chat section, but like I said, I'll be sending it to you. Because I think you'll really enjoy seeing people's thoughts as you read the poems and some of the things that deeply resonated with us. Cindy had a couple comments that I just have to come back to. One of them was Cindy is up in New York and she always talks about the Southern accents. And there's 2 points, Cindy, where you said, I love that he said guitar. And then when he was saying pirate, you thought he was saying parrot.
But I should note that that's how I knew you were talking about a pirate, but I should note that I wear hearing aids too. So that sometimes, even when a New York poet is reading, sometimes I don't hear all that clearly. But I had a question for you. You might have
Sure.
answered it earlier, but I don't remember. When did you start writing poetry seriously? Because I know this is your first book. I know you're not 25,
33.
Right. Like I'm 33, but I'm really 68. But I want to know when you discovered poetry, how you got into it, who were you reading?
Well, that's a good question. And poetry, I guess, even when I was younger, I liked words that rhyme, but I would make up little things as I was growing up in my early years and teens. But I never really wrote things down until probably about I'm thinking 2022, 2023 is when I really got serious and started writing. And, it seems like the more I wrote, the easier it was to keep writing them. But I really enjoyed the time that I spent. Thank you.
Then how come you didn't, were you sending out poetry for publication or trying to get a book published then? Or I'm just
Well,
curious because this is your first book.
well, I really didn't have any clue as to how I was going to get it published. Um, but I had a lot of friends. I had one friend that was in the printing business, and he said, let's just go put this thing to a printer and get him to print it. And I didn't really feel comfortable that that's what I wanted to do. For somehow or another, I just wanted more. But I guess through the Facebook, I kept seeing Cushing Publishing over and over. And so finally, I just sent her a message and asked Rose if she would consider publishing my book. And I didn't hear from her probably for about 60 days or so, but she sent me back. I sent her a copy of some of my poems, and she said, I would love to publish your book. So then we met, and just instantly, we both liked one another and worked together. And through the whole process, she took me by the hand and really did a great job with it. And I'm just so pleased to actually have it where it's real in a book.
Thank you so much for that question, Cindy, because I think a lot of times that's really important how somebody finds their publisher. How does that happen? And Dale, I love the story that you took a chance and reached out to her. I think that takes, a lot of it's a big step for any of us as writers. And Cushing Publishing is fabulous. They do a lot to really, I mean, she's the one who reached out to me to make sure that, we invited you here.
Yes,
So
thank
Rose
you.
is very invested in her writers, which I admire, I like. I felt like there, oh yeah, Rich, thank you. Go ahead and unmute and ask.
I tried unmuting in the wrong spot.
Okay, I was going to try to cue you. No worries.
Dale, I'm in the process of trying to get my first book ready for publishing, and actually Malika had recommended as one of a couple possibilities Cushing Publishing. So I'm glad to hear you've had such a wonderful experience with them. I have it's somebody's reading it for me now, so I guess I'm getting close. And like you, I started writing 50 years ago or more. Um, I love your musicality.
Thank you.
It is yeah, I really believe poetry is even more meant to be heard than read. Um,
Right.
and you have a wonderful musical sound to your poetry,
Thank you.
as well as a wonderful genuineness.
Mhm.
So I really I'm very thankful I'm here to hear this. I do have a question for you. Have you ever had dandelion wine? Um,
I have not. I'll have to try that. I'll have to
Great
try that.
question.
I had a great aunt who used to make dandelion wine.
That sounds like a poem, Rich. And part of the reason why I suggested Cushing Publishing is because really one of her hallmarks is musicality and a deep sincerity. I mean, just a
Oh,
gentle spirit, and that's
yes.
one of the things that Rose is kind of a hallmark for. Um, Thank you for that, for that conversation, Rich, because I do think that leap into, I think it's hard enough when you're writing poems to like claim the title, "Oh, I'm a poet." That's its own thing. And then when you start sending work out and also like as Cindy, because I put New Verse up there, New Verse News to remind myself, Pua Ali'i, I want you to go to that website, New Verse News. And I want you to look at what they're doing there and think about sending some work. Regina and I both had poems up this week, and Cindy's had work published there too. But she said they rejected 20 times and you've had 2 poems published. And that tracks, Cindy. That's about that, I mean, that's about how it is. 10 rejections for every 1 acceptance still.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
we have other questions? Yes, Pua Ali'i.
So, oh, I just fell right out of my head. I'm sure it'll come back at some point.
Do you think it's in the I'm trying to see if I can find it in the
Um,
chat section? No?
Oh dear, I didn't put any questions in there, but I wanted to say I really enjoyed your poetry. I
Thank you.
loved how visceral it was. It brought back these really very touching, beautiful memories for myself with my own grandmother, and my great grandmother and her feather bed and having slept in it. This thing was well over 100 years old, and we're all just wrapping ourselves in there like, yes. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
this marketing ploy that says you got to get rid of the bed after 10 years. It's like, no, you're just breaking it in. I mean, you barely got a dent in it, right? So I just wanted to say how much I really enjoyed listening to you. It was very beautiful. And, congratulations on your first book.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And
And if I remember my question, I will come back to that.
what I wanted to say to you, when I was writing, at first I thought I was just writing all this just for me. But
Yeah.
when I hear what you have to say and it touches your life and brings back memories,
Yeah.
then it means so much to me to knowing that the words that I write are touching people's lives.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
have one more comment. Sorry for taking up so much time, but a lot of people these days probably because of the pandemic and everything that's going on in the world, people are writing a lot of dark poetry. And there's a lot to be said for dark poetry. I write it, but it's refreshing to hear non-dark, nice memories, poems about poetry, poems about, just good, simple things.
General life.
I think we need to go back to that because, I'm a copy editor by trade, and every manuscript I get is about, their husband's death or grief or the pandemic or, and it's overload. It's, you want to hear,
Oh.
happy poetry every once in a while. Not that I write any, but but I really enjoyed it, Dale. Congratulations with the book, and
Thank you.
sell 1 billion copies.
I hope I do, but you know what? I hope if it touches one person's lives, then it means a lot to me. And that's what it's all about.
It will.
Yeah.
I remember my question. Can I go ahead and ask it?
Sure.
Yeah, so because this is your first book, how many poems did you need to have in order to publish?
Well,
Great question.
I didn't really have to have that many, I don't think, but I had probably, excuse me, over 200 and some poems that I had written. And I was thinking that I needed to cut them back a little bit. So I only submitted like 140 or 150, something like that.
Okay.
And I think that I probably have enough left over, plus what I'm still writing to publish another book within the next 90 days, I'm hoping.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great question.
Yeah, good
That's
question.
awesome. Any other comments, questions, thoughts? I'm just so glad to be in y'all's company. And Dale, I'm so glad you got a chance to join us. Thank you so
I'm
much
honored.
for reading.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You are welcome. I will send you the video and of course, the chat section. We'll move to open mic then, guys. I have Rich first.
Okay, I hope I did not read this one to you all in the past. I don't think I did. It's called Costa Rica Musings. And I do a lot of travel. Or my wife and we've been to over 50 countries. Sometimes the travel gets me to thinking, and this is one of those that did. White-hued stucco buildings jutting out from a cliff as scarlet macaws fly in formation, squawking loudly as they go by in breezes growing stiff. Looking out into the greens sprinkled with orange and red, I grow dull being fed like iguanas too tame, as I sun in these scenes universally famed. We do hike and see falls, see butterflies and birds, utter Spanish phrases not knowing many words, wander forest mazes without seeing them all. The people seem friendly, so much warmth they do show. What now are they thinking? Do I see just slightly as I sit here drinking what little I do know?
You had not read that. That's fabulous, Rich. And Cindy put in the chat section, I thought I was the only one that worried about it. And I think that all the time. When I do read, I'm like, this feels familiar.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
but
Rich.
no one remembers anyway. So
That's what we hope, in a way. Yeah.
and besides, let them hear it for a second time. We listen
Yeah, well, I was
to
just gonna say we're gonna run a social experiment now. So I'll read the same poems every time, and new people will. Yeah, never mind. I have Regina next.
Well, I can about promise you that you all may have heard this one. But what I had planned to write, because uh yeah, you just did so wonderfully. It was so wonderful, so real. I'm a Southerner, so I connect with a lot of what you said and a lot of how you said it. So I just wanted to let you know that I appreciated your reading. Good. Really good. This poem is I pulled this one because the one that I had, I was actually going to do the one from New Verse News, but it is, I don't want to shake the vibe. So this is one that's written in honor of my grandmama. It's entitled Aroma, in memory of Bessie A. Simpson. The scintillating smell of Pond's lemon cold cream was replaced by the scent of heaven on Sundays, drifting through 1201 Battle Street, and even further, probably, down the street. I can feel her coming through the kitchen in a pink housecoat, always covering some beautiful church suit, ready to fry chicken and lift it hot from the grease, prepare dumplings for sputtering greens, pull pound cake from the oven, and then remind us that we must eat, but first pray that the food might be blessed and hot and edify our bodies. And we would eat vigorously at first, but then in silence, as one dish after another graced our plates. And after, we would laugh heartily about cleanup, with me calling my auntie the chosen one, like Esther, the maid from Young and the Restless, who had her duties to perform. Wash them dishes, I would laughingly command, lest I wear the apron of servitude. And my granny would laugh and cut one more slice of cake for me. Nobody ever loved me like she did. I was her first, and would be her last first. No one else ever loved me like that, and no one else ever would.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
holy smoke. Perfect. Cindy wrote in there, even though I didn't know her, I love your grandma.
You would
Regina.
love my grandma, you would.
This is beautiful. Oh, yeah. And Puali'i, nobody ever loved me
He's
like that.
everybody's grandma.
Gosh.
And that
Yep.
last line, wow.
Yep. Dale, I should have probably warned you. We have the best open mic. We just do.
Well, it sounds like everybody has a good time just chatting about these poems and just enjoying one another's company. And already I feel like I've met friends, and I thank you for that.
Yeah. You see us, you fit in really nicely. Glad you came.
Thank you.
Karen, I have you next.
Well, Lord, I hope I don't break the vibe. Uh, fingers crossed on this one. This is Beyond Astronauts and Borders. There is always a rainbow of some sort looming, not too far away, maybe with its full-on spectrum curved like a frown, or like one of those childhood storybook renderings of color breaking out of the blue, of a sky dispersing any nearby clouds. Maybe today's rainbow is just a discarded scrap of itself, showing up in a dirty puddle, in the asphalt, in the blink of your eye, when you're only just trying to pump enough gas to get you where you're trying to be before it gets too much later than it already is. Either way, every way, a rainbow is not a bridge your physical body can travel, and it has no physical pot of gold. But it is a band of colors playing music for your eyes, maybe causing your figurative heart to skip a beat, to go pity-pat, to expand, to sing a bit of its own metaphorical song as your you just tags merrily, merrily, merrily along.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Right, and
Rainbow
you see the
poem.
best.
I think
You
you've
didn't
read
break
that
the vibe
before,
at all.
Karen.
You just went all full on in it.
I think I've heard that one before.
We're- No, I don't think so. I just did, but I am prone to writing about some rainbows. So
But
Can
it
you-
was worth hearing again if you did read it before.
Would you mind saying that line again that talked about like maybe a rainbow as a discarded?
Yeah,
oh,
how
okay.
phrase that was amazing. Thank you for circling back, Puali'i.
Oh yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Pua. Okay, so maybe today's rainbow is just a discarded scrap of itself showing up in a dirty puddle in the asphalt in the blink of your eye when you're only just trying to pump enough gas to get where you're trying to be before it gets too much later than it already is.
Oh, that's so
That
perfect.
line,
That's good.
Yeah, that one. That's
that line.
fabulous.
No wonder I couldn't write it all down.
I
Uh,
like that a lot. Very
Thank y'all.
nice.
Puali'i, it is your turn next.
Okay. So I had a friend of mine recently ask me, she said, how do you write? Like what comes to you? Like how do you get those words out there, right? So I wrote a poem about it. And so it's called She Asks. We met in our nation's most prolific setting, Washington, D.C. I remember showing up to make a difference. I know we did, are, will continue, even beyond shedding our skin. We took breaks from being called terrorists, while adult-bodied weaklings destroy many lives, many whom mastered humanity. Walks along the streets of DC, museums, art supply stores, great food, a rented apartment, hot, steamy summer days outside the Israeli embassies, a quick jaunt to the Secretary of Genocide's home, congressional hallways, parks that mark the flood of tears, needed to reset, speak of rage, honor our hatred of indifference, the snub of choice. Mutual exposure, the kind that x-rays, revealing skin, organs, the beating deep, yet our conversations linger in the ether, made physical. A place called home, familiar, safe, winged, stalemated consciousness. The utopia longed for, on top of the dirt we all imprint. How do I know? What's the inkling that waterfalls? How do I know? What's the inkling that waterfalls, the familiar trickling at first, then rushing like White Oak Canyon in the Shenandoahs? Billions of ecosystems exist, words glistening on the rainbow spray, quenching me as they tumble. I ask, which one, darling? Which one are you going to induce, marking your existence? Obviously not for the outside world, but for your own. The one that guides you, the one where creation is cultivated, where time never matters. Understood? Yes. Matters? No. It's like we are the journalists in Gaza. No one seems to notice our voices, yet we know one, by one, each matters. Words glistening on the rainbow spray, quenching me as they tumble. Hawaii, Mauna Kea, a telescope forced onto our sacred lands, our sacred pact, our brethren, taken centimeters from a veil that reveals the truth of who we are. We agree to meet the universe here, no matter how many times. No interference, no force. A magnitude so large, only a few centenarians will get it, yet many billions walk towards it, wearing a cloak so transparent that only a few register it. We are messengers. The masses are their own creators. Words, glistening on the rainbow spray, quenching me as they tumble. I observe their creation, decide, then act. The cherished tearing of identity, connection that starves, that summons submission, agendas for stripping one of their inherent rights is something I cannot tolerate even from myself, nor anyone in my circle, no matter how much I have loved them. I have loved you. Each one of us is not an us. The fondness of our memories remains. Words glistening on the rainbow spray, quenching me as they tumble. That's how I know. Summer dries up the waterline. Drought is vast yet conscionable. It's the knowing that calls, the knowing I will always rise to meet. Words glistening on the rainbow spray, quenching me as they tumble. Hope this conveys what you've asked. Aho, my sister in humanity. May peace be upon you all the days you roam.
Oh, powerful. You got to read the chat section. And I mean, we agreed to meet the universe here is going to be something. I just love that. Cindy, I have you, and then Bob, and then Cal, and then myself.
Okay. Since we're indulging in memory, I'm going to read a poem from my 2015 book, Habeas Corpus. It was published by Glasslyre Press, which Malika is very familiar with, the great Ami K. And I probably read this before, but suck it up. It's a prose poem. Everything in this book, it's called Habeas Corpus. Corpus means body. And every poem in this book deals with another body part. And this is sort of an ode to my legs. It's called Legs. Back when I was ether-eyed and doe-legged, back with my Buddha breaths and a little pastel heart, back with my unruly mop of wild wheat hair, an unholy mess of wild thoughts, back when my home was a porcelain throne, back when I smelled of sea spray and foam, back when I had a quick trigger tongue, back when I was not so wound up and not so wounded, back when I'd fall down on my sweet knees and say, God bless these moon-thin legs, jackknifed and splayed with no spider veins, my precious legs in assorted beds.
I like it.
Adore you,
None
Cindy.
of it happened. None of it happened.
Yeah, you might want to hold that book up again, and just to let you know, it's still available from Glasslyre, isn't it?
It's here's the back cover with my cute picture on it, and it's available at Amazon. Very
Awesome.
short book. You know what? Anyone who well, I'm gonna wait for the new book to come out. It should be released very soon. Malika blurbed it beautifully. And all of you will get a free copy. You'll just give me your address. I'll send you one from Amazon.
You are too kind. It is such a good book, guys. We're going to have Cindy on to celebrate, of course.
Hey.
And
That-
y'all will,
that's
you know,
how I
I
sell my
felt
book.
honored that I got a sneak peek. You know, I got to read it.
I'm honored that you liked it. I thought, oh my God, she's not gonna like it.
There was no way not to, Cindy.
No,
Come
there's no
on.
way.
I adore how quickly you move from insightful and soft and like adore, and then just that wit comes in and you go, holy cow, there, you know, it's a
Yeah.
whole game, you know, kind of, it's,
And
love
the
it.
publisher solicited it, and it just had a very weird trajectory. And you know, it has Karen Newberg's collages in it, and they put it
Yeah.
together so well. They propped it up so that my poems look a lot better than they are.
You know, your poems are amazing, and y'all will see this,
I'm
but
so
we should talk
excited.
about when we do that, having the collages, you know, on a PowerPoint or something like that. We'll have a conversation about that so that we showcase it.
Yeah.
Okay. I have Bob next, and I'm gonna warn people that don't already know Bob. It's gonna come in quick and come in hot.
Yeah.
And it's short, and you're gonna go, wait a minute, Bob.
And this one will be short. It's from my new chapbook, which is all very short poems. This is actually one of the longest poems in the book. Meaning. Doesn't write about, but allows the words to fill the page until meaning seems almost possible.
Can you say that again, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay. Meaning. Doesn't write about, but allows the words to fill the page until meaning seems almost possible.
Yeah.
That's deep. Pretty
Oh,
good. Good thoughts.
Yeah.
well,
Fabulous. I love how Bob's are almost like origami, and I don't really know what I mean by that, except there seems to be a folding and something that you open and go, wait, how did it make that? It's just, I just enjoy it.
Thank
I
you.
really do. Yep. Yes.
Bob, I find it amazing you can do so much and pack so much into poems that are short like that. I just appreciate. I don't do it. My poems tend on the long side, and I tend to keep my longest ones off of the readings. But I really appreciate your ability to do that. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
And I do it. I think everybody's going back to that. We do like you to read it twice. Regina was saying because they are so haiku adjacent and they are so packed, reading it twice. I
Yeah.
would applaud that because I think we
Always.
always ask you to do it anyway, Bob.
Yeah.
You usually do, actually.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'm quicker than others. Cal, I have you next.
All right. I'm sorry for breaking into things with a few words with my wife. I've had a terrible day with my illness still, and I can't make. My computer died, so we had to get a new one
Oh,
as a backup. And I don't know if that's got something to do with it, but I can't make the
You'll figure it out. We're glad you're here, though, Cal.
but I still can read. And I got 3 poems in the Heron Clan anthology right up near
Yay.
the front, which the publisher told me was an honor. It doesn't say that anywhere, but that's what Doug said. But maybe he was just trying to make me feel good. Anyway, this is one of them, which I'm sure I've read here before, but maybe you haven't heard it. It's stolen from Edgar Allan Poe. I was reading a lot of Poe for a while, and this came out of it. The Man with the Hypersensitive Disease. The schizophrenic's eye movements, his disease of hypersensitivity, the same math as the Death Watch Beatles, the blood pounding in his ears, the random fear of a guilty brain, and the noise emitted by the telltale heart beneath the floorboards. The officers have too much information to see or hear the real truth, so he must tell them. The faucet drips as imperfectly irregular as a telltale heart, and in his dream, the drips become chaotic, his own heart arrhythmic, unrecoverable, and he dies in his sleep. So, little pleasant thing for the night.
Wow. Yeah. Guilty brain. And I live not too far from the Poe Museum. I just want you to know that, Cal.
From the what?
Maybe I'll have a birthday party there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm about an
I
hour
haven't
away from
been there.
Richmond. And I've been to it. It's been ages. I'm sure.
I'd
Well,
love to
Lee,
go.
you had to have gone.
Really,
Yeah.
What museum is it?
It's a great museum. It really is. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a big fan.
Poe Museum.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't
Edgar
been
Allan,
there.
yeah.
Oh, well, I'll have a birthday party there.
Well, we can all meet there. Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
This
All right.
this past, when was it? Maybe 2 Saturdays ago. In Greenville, we had the Edgar Allan Poe Speakeasy. It was
Yes,
great.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was really great. And so this kind of band of actors
Yeah.
They
enacted
travel,
yeah.
right?
Huh?
They travel around
They
across the
travel, yeah,
country.
they're with Fever.
wow,
Yeah,
Nice.
wow.
the Fever platform, I guess lines up these different acts And so, but it was so good. I was like, oh my gosh, this doesn't even
Oh,
feel
that's
like
awesome.
I have a
That is,
friend who lives in Greenville. Do you know Arthur McMaster, Regina?
I'm
doesn't that sound familiar,
laughing.
Regina?
It does sound familiar.
Yeah,
I-
he's a longtime poet. I met him a couple of times.
And
when
it's
he-
Greenville, North Carolina, not Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
he's in
Yeah, that's what I
South.
was gonna say, because I think he's
Yeah,
part
South
of the
Carolina.
South Carolina Poetry Society. It's the only reason I
Yeah,
said that.
he's in South
Right.
Carolina.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Greenville, yeah, and even when I try to like look up things in Greenville, North Carolina, South Carolina comes up first.
Mhm.
All right,
Ah,
guys, I just want to, I'm gonna, Cal, make sure you read the chat section. And I put in the chat section, I know everyone here already knows, but the long apprenticeship is, oh my gosh, you know, it's coming, and is up for pre-sale. So I'm gonna read the first poem from the manuscript. And Cindy, it's a different poem than when you saw it. So I know that's weird. There was a poem, this happens, but in any event, it's called Communion. At a sunrise service, I'm allowed to sit in church for the first time as a child, in a pew beside my mom, beneath the cathedral ceiling, with marble columns large as trees. A hymn echoes around us. I've found the right page, but do not know the song. Light begins to shine through a circular window above the priest. I watch small specks of dust float in the air, swirl, dancing in an updraft, standing, sitting, kneeling. I'm kneeling on a red velvet cushion, and suddenly my folded hands and arms are lit gold, ruby, sapphire, and emerald. The colors pool onto my hands, folded in prayer. I can move my arms away into the silence of dim light, or I can stretch forward into armfuls of color. I turn my bowed head, looking for the source. Thank you.
You put me there.
Oh, thank you, Dale. Thank you.
I loved it the first time I heard it. It's even better now.
Yeah, that's partly because of your insight. I can't remember what, but I remember going, Rich, yes, you nailed it. Thank y'all. And thank y'all for being such beautiful company. And Dale, I'm really glad you were here.
Oh, yeah. I'm very blessed to be part of this group. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Right. And everybody, you really brought
Bye.
some
It's
real,
been fun.
yeah, a
Thank you.
vibe and a really powerful presence. And I just want to say thank you. I see you.
Thank you for turning my day in the right direction.
Yes, Cal. Glad
Take
you were
care,
here.
Cal. Take
reading
care.
is so uplifting. It's really an
Yeah. Well,